your hostess with the mostest, broadcasting to you live from Holly Television Kitchen, right here in my beautiful garden home state of Nazi, New Jersey. So far, it's only me who's rising this morning. I don't want to rise. I want to go back to bed. But I'm Holly Baglio, your hostess with the mostest, keeping you with a focus. I want my HTV. I'm not supposed to be awake right now. I had every intention to sleep till 8:30. But about 6 a.m., I stirred in my sleep, and I got up to use the powder room, of course. And by the time I got out to my kitchen, my cell phone was ringing. So I picked up my cell phone. It's one of my friends. And they're like, Holly, I'm sorry to wake you up. I'm like, well, on a technicality, you didn't wake me up, but I'm not trying to really wake up. I want to go back to bed. Well, anyway, the person that called me, we didn't get to finish our conversation this morning, but good morning, lover, how are you? Oh, I'm relaxed. Trust me, I just woke up. I couldn't even rip the wings off a fly. I'm so relaxed. That, and I'm in so much pain, I can't even get a grip. So I'm pretty much harmless right now. And I'm calm because I know I'm harmless. Now, when I'm putting up a ruckus, then I'm feeling pretty dangerous. So stand back then. No, I'm kidding. What was I saying? All right, so I have an appointment later with one of my good friends, and apparently they had another dream, and they're concerned about my well-being because of their dream. And I tend to listen to my person because their dreams are really uncanny, just too similar. I pick up too much from the dreams for me to ignore my friend's dreams. You know what I'm trying to say? Right? So, anyway, my friend basically said something to the effect of, we've got to meet each other. But Holly, later on today, when I'm free, let's sit down and talk. I was like, absolutely, later on today. Meanwhile, I'm wide awake now, and I didn't want to wake up because I needed that extra hour and a half sleep because everything hurts worse because I'm awake and I couldn't fall back to sleep. And it wasn't for a lack of trying, that's for sure. So I'm in extra pain because I'm awake right now, and it's too early. I woke up, and right now, the melatonin and the poppy seed stuff is still working on me, so I'm really still tired. But anyway, the thing that got me is my friend said something to the effect of, we've got to meet Holly because something bad is going to happen. And we'll get into all of that later. But now the weird thing is when I got this phone call this morning, and like I said, we have to finish the phone call later on today. The oddest thing, yesterday I got back up on the bandwagon, so to speak, right? With the nicotine and some of my other bad behaviors. So I've rejoined the fight. I want to start, having my appointments and fulfilling my appointments, say I'm going to do something and do it, and, really get back in the game, so to speak, instead of sitting this one out. But anyway, yesterday I was spending some time with Heavenly Abba because the demonic attacks kicked in, because now here I am back up on the bandwagon, praying and fasting, back in his will, being obedient. And yesterday I thought to myself, and this is a pretty big feeling, so I hope I have the guts to tell my friends later, but yesterday I had come to a decision. Guys, you're not going to like this, but for the month of March, Abba has closed my door. I will not be meeting anybody for the month of March. I've decided this yesterday. And regardless of what happens out in the world, I have to remember the decision that Heavenly Abba and I made yesterday. I have to pause here. Back in November, I had that nightmare. In the nightmare, when it was over, in the nightmare, it had said something about 5 months. Well, 5 months ends in April. So the month of March, I don't know what's going on in the spirit world to make other people think that if we don't act now, that something bad is going to happen later. I can't go for that, and I don't accept it. Guys, for the month of March, I'm not moving from my home. And more than that, for the month of March, I'm not having anybody come over. That's what was decided yesterday between Heavenly Abba and myself. Actually, it was more like he decided, told me, I accepted. So, I don't know what's going on in the spirit world, but I'm not feeding into it because I feel that it is the kingdom of darkness who is speaking right now, and I'm not going to abide by it. So as far as like face-to-face meeting somebody, that's what I'm talking about. You want to do a video call or a phone call, I'm game. But I'm not moving anywhere and nobody else is moving towards me. I don't know what's going on in the spirit world, but I'm not listening to that voice. I'm staying put right now. And it was really weird too because there was something yesterday. There was a couple of times yesterday. And I'm not going to explain myself right, but I went to Walmart last night. I'm sitting in my car and I get this feeling come over me, that still small voice, and it says, Holly, sit in your car. I'm like, for what? I'm done. I'll grab my stuff and get out. So I didn't listen to the still small voice. Lock all the doors, get out of my car, start walking in. I get about 20 feet away from my car. I'm like, forgot everything. I got to turn around and go back. So now as I'm turning around and walking back to my car, ding, 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 that little voice is ringing in my head. Holly, didn't I tell you to wait in your car? As I'm walking back to my car, now I can't get in my car. I gotta wait for other people, so I'm waiting outside. I'm thinking, wow, that still small voice told me to wait in my car. I didn't, I went against it. But had I listened to that still small voice, I'd have my cell phone on me, my cards on me. I'd be in my car in the heat right now, staying nice and warm, while these people are doing whatever it is they're doing in the car right next to me, which prohibits me from getting in my car. Sometimes it's going to sound really strange, guys, but there's sometimes where God will just say to me, Holly, stop. Pause, wait. So it won't matter whether I'm in the middle of getting out of my car to go shopping, or maybe I'm out somewhere doing something, and I'll feel what I think could possibly be the Holy Spirit, but I have to test me. I test all the spirits. I test everyone, everything from here to Timbuktu and back, but I don't test Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh in Yeshua's name. But it seems like sometimes he'll say, Holly, wait. And there I am, literally standing in a holding pattern. And then it'll be a certain amount of time will pass, whether it's 5 minutes or maybe 2 hours or maybe 5 days. And then Abba will say, okay, Holly, move now. And it's like, oh, now move. Okay, I'm going. But sometimes I feel that Abba says, stop, halt. And then it's like time has to pass, or something in the air has to come to pass first. And once it comes to pass first, then God's like, okay, Holly, move now. You're not on pause now. Pick up where you left off and go. Does it make sense? It does to me. I just don't know how to explain it. So I'm not making a move until April. Because I think the kingdom, I'll tell you right now, I think the kingdom of darkness is up to some foul trickery, and it involves people, my friends, my loved ones, but it also includes other people that I would say are not my loved ones. They're still human beings, but they're not in my life. I don't know, guys. I don't know what's happening in the spirit world, but I'm not making a move for the month of March. It's going to be a long month. I can still go see my friends? Okay, but I can't. I'm not meeting anybody. Like, I can still go see my friends. I can still go see Rob, Stu, Val, but anybody outside of there. But see, that's a personal arrangement that the four of us have. I need personal interaction with human beings that I love, that I trust, that I'm safe around. And that's my godmother. And that's two people that I grew up with. Like, that I've known for well over 20 years. They know I spend a lot of time on the computer, and when I do get out, I go to them for my face-to-face interaction because I know I'm safe. So I can still go see them, but as far as like doing something that's out of my ordinary routine, I don't think Abba's going to give me permission. So if you guys want to get mad at me, I'm really sorry. But I'm kind of under his rule, so it's what he says pretty much goes. And honestly, I don't want to be out of obedience to him, so I know that people have gotten mad at me because I won't go out of obedience with him to suit their needs, and that's typically when I start losing friendships. And that's typically when plastic Christians take their foot, put it on the back of my head, and press down with it. I might be making a new friend. Either that or a baby raccoon or a baby fox, but I think there might be a stray cat somewhere outside. I saw it. And if it is stray, you know, it doesn't have to be stray. And keep dreaming about Seva and her suffering. And something's not right with that for me to keep dreaming about Seva's suffering, because as far as I'm concerned, the kingdom of darkness attacked her and stole her from me, because it was the kingdom of darkness who gave me the nightmare to tell me that she was going to die in the first place. I don't want that anymore, that demonic attack coming true, so I'm going to stay put. I'm going to make Yudhe Vavhe's job easier and just stay put. Now, I've had an IBS attack this morning because of the ice cream I ate last night. I know I was laughing last night, but I surely wasn't this morning. So I'm going to knock it off with the ice cream before bed. I should eat ice cream in the morning for breakfast, but I don't know. I was trying to eat it at night because I want to gain fat. Waken, Sprite, Faith, good morning. I love you too, Tyler. I just saw your comment, honey. So my pain levels are kind of off the charts. I'm having trouble walking. My feet really hurt. A lot, a lot. I guess it's warm enough, right? My feet are definitely killing me. They hurt. It's okay, Waken. It's okay, Waken. I have arthritis and fibromyalgia. It just sucks during the winter, but I get through it. It's okay. It's a lot better, I'll tell you. It's a lot better now than before. Maybe it's because I handle it better. But I'll tell you, before, when I complained about my arthritis, even like 10 years ago, I'd just complain and be like, that's it, I'm taking myself to the ER. I'm not sitting in this pain and suffering and putting pressure on my heart. Hey, it's Telly. Shalom, love offering. You don't have to bring any love offering. Just bring yourself, Tellies. I love you, sweetheart. So I got triggered yesterday, in case you guys didn't notice. And I'll be honest, I've already been hanging on to the... I've already been hanging on to the core Holly because I already went through a bad riff with my altars. I started coming out like the day before yesterday. Yesterday roams around. Something happens on HTV. I'm triggered off my keister, and for the rest of the day, I'm hanging on to the core Holly going, don't let this happen. I don't want to be here. You don't want me to be here, Holly. Send me back home. So I'm fighting this triggering, and I hope it stops. I don't like it. I don't like myself when I'm triggered, and I need peace. I need people from the past to give me peace. Either that, or I'll just flip into altar and always stay in altar, and then everybody can hate me for the rest of my life. I don't really mean that. What am I using? I'm using right now, because this is all I have, it's red Bali kratom. I usually use the green manga. But since I got my medicinal cannabis license, I've actually been able to drastically cut down with my kratom. So much so that I'm only using a little bit, and it works more and more powerful than when I was using a lot of it and solely just the kratom because I couldn't get my hands on medicinal marijuana. But now that's not my problem anymore. Well, no, that's not true. But that's the only two things I use, honestly, Wakened, is kratom or medicinal cannabis for my health ailments. I stay away from everything else. Honestly, hey, Huntress, honestly, what was I going to tell you? I mean, I've gone back on pain pills and muscle relaxers and anti-anxiety pills for a month or two due to acute reasons over the past 7 years. But outside of acute reasons like an infection or collapsed lung or broken cheekbone, I won't take antibiotics or pills. I will for acute reasons, but typically for daily and monthly help with, I got endometriosis, fibromyalgia widespread, rheumatoid arthritis widespread. I have Baker's cyst behind each knees and in my spine. I have allergy problems. Jeez, what else do I got wrong with me? Then I got depression. They say I'm bipolar. I have mood disorders. They say I'm paranoid, PTSD, anxiety, panic. I can't remember right now some of my physical problems, but honestly, I've been able to maintain with kratom and medicinal marijuana. Try natural way to heal, awaken, sprit faith. You know, there's a lot of people that come in my chat room and they know the natural way to heal. Good morning, James. How are you? It's great to see you. My love and bones to Zeus. So, but it works for the pain. It helps. It helps, it helps, it helps. Bottoms of my feet are killing me. I feel like I'm walking on a bed of knives. So, what are you guys doing today? Anything exciting? I'm staying off my feet, writing prayers, and getting my friend, I guess you'd say, blessed and baptized in the Holy Spirit, anointed with holy oil. I'm going to do that today. I'm looking forward to it. You're in bed resting. I hope you feel better awakened. He's chewing on a bone at the moment. That's cute. I better not say that word too loud because Keeper's in the next room. She'll come running in. She might give me a little bit more time to at least get my kratom down, numb the bottom of my feet a little bit so I can give her a proper hike this morning. But as far as my dreams last night, I can't really remember anything. They're going to come true, I guess, but I can't really remember anything. But last night when I laid down, I don't remember waking up. I guess I went to sleep sometime about 12:30, I guess. And it wasn't until 6 that I woke up. But when the phone, as I was making my way through the house to the powder room, I wasn't going to wake up. I knew I could probably do what I had to do and get back to the bed and then fall back asleep. But when I saw the phone ringing, it was all over. There's no nicotine, okay? I don't care how stupid I look with this in my hand or biting on it. All I know is there's no nicotine in it and it's not a cigarette. I wonder how I can clean out the cellar of this place. I gotta come up with an idea. I want that thing off my property. Whatever it is in the cellar that jumps on top of me. Good morning, Amanda Howard. How are you, beautiful? I don't know if you can get kratom in the UK. I thought it was only Australia that you couldn't get it. Kratom is a plant. So you know how you have the medicinal marijuana plant, whatever. Well, there's another plant. I forget the name of it. It's MITR something or other. I can't pronounce the word. But basically it's a plant they crush up, and depending on the strain, it is dependent on the effects it'll give you. Like the green strain of kratom, that'll give you energy and pain relief. The red strain will give you a sedated effect and pain relief. The white strain will just give you flat out energy. The yellow strain is good for another reason, which I don't know. I only use the red and green strains, to be honest with you, for the pain relief. But this is red Bali, so it'll keep me sedated. which is not a bad thing. I don't always like to be sedated, but I know for my loved ones, it's better for them that I am sedated. I know that for a fact because for them, it's easier. It's just easier for them when I'm in a calm state because they feel like they have more of my attention and they feel like they're getting through to me more and they feel like they have more input and more control and more empowerment in the situation we're involved in. I'm not flying off the handle and they're having to try even harder to reel me back in, and that's happened too, more often than not. But as long as it doesn't put me back to sleep, because I want to get back on the ball, I'll be good. But oh, my love to your kids. You got such beautiful kids. I couldn't. Oh, I'm a pain in the neck. I was about to have a bad comment, but I won't say it. What I was going to say was that's why my grandmother dropped me on my grandparents because even she didn't want to deal with me. But that's a bad joke. That's not even funny. But anyway, so I'm starting to definitely perk up. And on the inside, I can feel my altars really fighting to make sure that me, the core Holly, stays in charge. Like that I have the control. Because yesterday, I'll be honest, I was triggered. I told you all about it. It probably didn't make sense when I told you, but I hope it's over now. I hope it's over now. Certain people, just the sight of them trigger me. I'll be honest. And it's not a good triggering. And it's not like I want to see them. You guys I want to see. Absolutely. But I don't want to see everybody else out in the world, I don't like them as much as I like you guys. I don't. I'll be honest. I like you guys the best. That's why I'm even here. But I think I'm going to stay put for the month of March. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. I make a decision yesterday. Well, it was basically Abba because I'm coming back in his obedience. But then other people are getting messages that we're in danger, and I don't believe that. I think if we leave our houses and we start traveling distances, then we're going to put ourselves in danger. Then it's going to make Abba's job harder for him to accomplish. But if we stay put, then we're safe. It makes his job easier for him, and we're not putting undue pressure on him. I don't think this month of March is going to be a good month for me to go out. There's too much MK Ultra triggering. Didn't you guys notice the numbers? I don't know. Just so, but anyway, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I really don't have anything. I just wanted to say hi. Today's gossip. Get my friend baptized in the Holy Spirit, anointed with holy oil. I have a couple other friends that I want to get with today, I guess, just to get God's work done. And then when I get God's work done, then I can come hang out with my friends and talk with them about stuff. .30, I should be sleeping right now. What are you guys doing today? I am going to continue to not smoke nicotine of any kind. I'll probably fall short later on tonight, but at least during the day I'll keep fighting it. I did really well yesterday. I want to do again. Oh man, I was so stupid to start. I was one of these kids daydreaming about smoking cigarettes. I can't wait till I turn 18 so I can smoke cigarettes myself. For what, Holly? Like, really? Of all the things to want to do in your life, become a smoker is one. I would envision myself, because I was a poet, right? And I kid you not, every time I envisioned myself writing poems, I always had a butt in my mouth or in my hand. I want to give it up because my perception of Yeshua is that if he didn't need nicotine, then neither do I. And I'm a fool for getting myself involved in it so deeply like I did. I got myself addicted. I got myself addicted to Coca-Cola. Are you kidding me? Anyway. But I have an oral fixation. I'm not trying to be a stumbling block, guys, but really there's no nicotine in it. And I can't tell you how many times this thing alone saved me from having a cigarette yesterday. I think our spiritual battles are going to be pretty bad this coming month. If I was telling me to stay home, well, guys, it's been about 32 minutes. I don't have anything good to say, really. To a different state and didn't want me to join. About the Lord and all, I'm taking care of the kid, watching the house get renovated. Oh my goodness, Amanda. Oh my God, Amanda. Yeah, once I'm done with the stuff I gotta do, I can't wait to call you Amanda. That's been a long time coming. I've been reading my book a lot. I just leave it out now. Because I miss Sava so much. So just leave it out. That way, when I miss her, I can open it and I can start reading about Yeshua. I should have became a vet, you know. I should have just stayed working with animals. The reason why I didn't was there was no money in it, and that's why I went off to be a corporate secretary. You know how much money I was making? My guy friends thought that they were making a lot of money because men do get paid more than women. But when I started working for AT&T, I was making more money than all of my friends put together, just as a glorified secretary. And then when I went up to executive staff and I had to wear pinstripes, that's when I started getting paid handsomely. I loved working at Pharmacia. That was my dream job. But I was working 70, 80-hour weeks, trying to fit it into like a 4 to 5 day time span so I could still enjoy Saturday and Sunday. I even stopped going to martial arts at that point because I was working so much, but the money was nice. Shh, you should have seen vacation package they had for me. I got 3 weeks vacation. 3 weeks. This was to start. I was making about $55 per hour. That's what it broke down to. This was what they offered me at Pharmacia to start as their full-time executive staff secretary. Was I would have been making $55 an hour. Now, time and what is it? Double time, that starts at 41 hours. So I would make 1.5 times 55. And then once I hit 51 and up hours, then I was making double that money. They offered me 3 full weeks vacation, 1 full week personal time, unlimited sick time. And then there was something else. Oh, they gave me about 4 floating holidays too. I was like, you guys work me so much I'll never be able to take vacation anyway. But this is a nice package. Yeah, where's that dotted line? But sadly, I couldn't take that job because I had 3 felonies pending against me. But then those felonies were terminated. Termination means different than dismissal. My 3 felonies were not dismissed. Oh no, they were terminated. Big difference. But my 3 felonies weren't terminated yet, and you can't have a criminal history when you work for Pharmacia, so that didn't last. And by the time Grandma died, and I did get the paperwork saying that everything was terminated, my old group in Pharmacia was long gone, and it was bought out by Pfizer. Remember when Pharmacia was bought out by Pfizer? That's when I worked for them. Even Pfizer, I knew the people in Pfizer, they had even said, you know, when you get this squared away, if you want to come back, yeah, your reputation precedes you, Holly. If you want to come back, there will be a spot for you to come back. I was a good secretary. Not now, James. That was back 2001, 2002. It was that long ago. You know what, James? I would. You know what, James? I would give it a try. I might flop, but I really did enjoy working for Rami at Pharmacia. I really love that group of people. I really did enjoy it. I mean, I was working in a building of 4,000 people. I loved it. I wish I was still able to work today because that's where I'd be right now. I'd be like, see you guys. I'm going to go rake home an over $2,000 paycheck after taxes. I'll talk to you at the end of the week. And don't worry, I'll share it with you guys. I'll have way too much anyway. I wish. Roxy. I love you, Roxy. I waited to say hi to you. You didn't get to shut? That's okay. I was so nervous. I shot that video 3 times. I'm thinking, what do I say to a 5-year-old? I was like, you should know you got a ton of 5-year-olds running around all the time. What do you say to them? Me, I just give them paper and crayons and say, go, there. Do what it is you do. That little girl has made me really happy, Skylar. That message, man, you melted my heart with that message. It still chokes me up. Pray for my Alex. She needs to get a new job. Okay, Heavenly Abba, we lift Alex up to you. We ask you to provide a really great job for her that pays handsomely with really good benefits. Please provide her with transportation. Heavenly Abba, please open up a job that Alex will be happy with. No gnashing teeth, no upset stomach. Great boss, great coworkers, great rapport with the company. We pray for Alex in Yeshua's name. But Abba, we pray for all of those people looking for work and needing work, as well as transportation. They're not forgotten, Abba. We may not have personally met them, but we are praying for them. In Yeshua HaMashiach's name, Selah. Okay. You're going to make me cry. I was just so precious, Roxy. There was another little kid that made me cry. I don't know what it is with those kids, man. They can be tear jerkers. They say the darndest things, that really get to you. There was this another young boy, I guess he was 7 or 8 years old, back in the year 2016 or 2017, after I came forward to the public. There was a Chicago police officer who reached out to me, and we started to talk. And we became friends. And I got to meet his wife, which was nice. But then one day, we were on a video call. We had done, I think, an interview together, but we still kept in touch. I still follow him on YouTube as well. Really brilliant mind. And all of a sudden, he's like, Holly, I saw him talking to somebody. He's like, Holly, my son's here. And he's like, I see him go, you want to meet a super soldier? And he's like, yeah, Dad, is this her? And I kind of see him whispering, and he goes, this is my son, and meet my son. Oh my God, I had tears streaming down my eyes. I was like, wow. The 7-year-old or 8-year-old, he's like, you're a super soldier? I was like, yes, sweetie. But all that bad stuff, it's done and over with, so don't let any of it worry your pretty little mind. But just the fact that a child wanted to meet me and treat me so nice, like, after all I've been through, I don't know, it chokes me up. So Skylar's got my attention, I'll tell you that. She's got a big sister, so I don't care how far away I live. If somebody ever hurts that little girl, they're going to meet me the hard way. I remember being her age in Project IBS, about her age. I was 3 years old, and I remember living out in San Antonio, Texas, and I was in a dump out in that area. That's where I have to rely on James Casbolt. Max Spears is a big one, because I remember the boys, but I didn't know where we were, and it's their testimonies that I had to research and study to find out where I was. Skylar. Aw, she's learning how to pray. Lots of jobs out there, James. You didn't see my comment on your other video. You have to celebrate. It's Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday. That's what my friend downstairs was saying. She's like, Lent's Wednesday, and it's Mardi Gras. Do you know I almost went to Mardi Gras? Not once, but twice. I had the hotel room, bottom floor on Bourbon Street, ready to rock 2 years in a row. I had 3 friends from AT&T coming with me, 2 contractors and a regular employee, straight across the board partiers. I come home from work one day, and my grandmother goes, Holly, your grandfather, your papa who raised you, went to Mardi Gras. If you go down there, I'm really going to worry. She's sipping on her tea, smoking her Lark cigarettes, the kind that you rattle and you can hear the tar in between the filters. Holly, there's a lot of crime. I'm going to worry about you. I'd really rather you not go. Your grandfather was a sailor, and he went down there. Now, he said he was only holding the girl's hand, but apparently that girl got sick with spinal meningitis, and the Navy had to call up searching for your grandfather because they thought she gave it to your grandfather. But he told me all they did was hold hands. I was like, well, Gran, do you believe him? She goes, yeah, because he never got spinal meningitis. I'll tell her, when I met a sailor, Joe Reed, I remember I was in my 20s to a Yankee game, and it was Fleet Week, and all the ships came in. Well, I met the sailors, and I was hanging out with this one particular sailor, but we were in a group. Oh, it was so cool, man, going to New York City. New York City would just open the doors for these sailors. At a Yankee game, it was just me and the Sailor Joe, and we walk in, let us in for free. They escort us straight down behind home plate to watch the game for free. I was like, oh, do you need a wife? I'll get married. We'd walk into people and they would just be buying these sailors beer. Oh, you're with Joe here. Like, but you know, I have to say there was one point that hit the sailor and I almost got mugged. Him and I, we were walking down the street and these two guys just came around the corner right in front of us and just tried to smother us. I feel him grab my hand and we ended up busting through them and taking off. Just the same way Bobby Lee would train me in self-defense. That's what me and the sailor did. I knew. I wasn't stupid. I had taken martial arts. I knew. But anyway, I'll celebrate Fat Tuesday only if it's with you, ECWN. A crowd of drunks is not where I want to be. I'm a sailor. No, honestly, I'm not. Honestly, 2 years in a row, honestly, James, when I came home and I saw my grandmother sitting there, I was like, all right, Gran, all right, pick up the phone. Listen, guys, I'm bailing. If you want the hotel room, you can have it, but I'm not going. And on both occasions, I respected how my grandmother felt, and I did not go. And I don't know, I kind of had a feeling, too, that I should listen to her. Another thing, when that grandma passed away, she had left me half of her house that I split with my uncle, her son, and he was my favorite uncle. He used to call me Joe Louis because I come home with black eyes, and Mario Andretti because I come home with speeding tickets. More speeding tickets. But that one black eye, man, it was because the kid in front of me at the Jake E. Lee concert was headbanging, and he wouldn't stop, and he headbanged right into me. And the second he did that, I dropped like a ton of bricks on the floor. I come home with this big eye, but no, I canceled James. Dark Energy and Nola. Yeah, you know, I have to say, after I canceled the plans to go to Mardi Gras and I stuck around AT&T, people started telling me stories about, I want to say Aberdeen or the French Quarters or something like that. And I was like, ooh, I'm glad I didn't go. What happened to your half of the house? I wanted to own the whole house, but I didn't have the money at the time, and I needed help, and losing my grandmother, that's pretty much when I came down with fibromyalgia. I blew it. I got, about 120,000, 150,000. I lived off of it. I didn't go back to work. Well, I did go back to work for a little while after she died, but I was having a lot of trouble, like with the fibromyalgia. So, and the part-time jobs I had didn't really cut it. Once Grandma died, I spiraled down. I completely spiraled downhill. I made all the wrong decisions. People all of a sudden were my friends, and I thought they were my friends, and they really weren't, but they were my friends because they knew I had money. So this is all my fault. It took me a long time to forgive myself. So I lived off that money for years. For years. I stretched that money out a very long time. Either South Street or Bar Fat Tuesday got censored. Really? My comment was removed. I didn't remove your comment. So, oh, I forget. It was my stupidity in the first place. I should have known better. What I should have done is bought the house. But my mother and my uncle were fighting me on the house because they wanted the rich dude behind Grandma's house to buy her house so they could get their money. I wanted to buy the house and keep the house, but Donna fought me on it. She didn't support me, so I ended up moving in with her. She'd ask for money. I'd give it to her, never pay me back. Sneak in my room when I'm sleeping, rooting through my wallet, take what she wants, sneak out. Oh, I need this, Holly. Oh, I need that. Oh, you need to pay the cable bill. You need to pay this. I wanted to buy the house, and the second mistake that I made because I didn't buy the house was that I went and moved back in with my mother for those couple of years after Grandma died. So if it wasn't bad enough, Grandma dying had destroyed my life, the loss of her, the loss of my house, but then living with my mother, man, that was hell. Total hell. I shouldn't have done it. I made a lot of bad mistakes, James. I told my grandmother, I said, I don't want you to die. You keep your money and you stay alive. You can't die. I told her, I said, Graham, you're so worried about Jimmy and how he's going to be when you die. You're so worried that your son's going to fall apart. Your son's going to fall apart. He ain't going to fall apart anywhere near next to me, Graham. I'm the one that's here, and I'm the one that's been here. He's only going to fall apart when he gets a big fat check. I'm going to fall apart because I don't want it. I want you. You're my home. Without you, don't exist. It's like losing Siva. Keep the money. Stay alive. I fell into drugs. I hurt so damn bad. I fell into drugs. 2 years later, I was bit by a recluse spider and I came down with Lyme's disease. So it was over for me anyway, James. So I continued to live off the money. A couple of years after that, I got a second inheritance. That was a huge one. Technically, I should be a millionairess right now, but Barry Obama collapsed the economy. And every month I was losing $36,000 until it dwindled down after 8 years. It started losing $36,000 off my principal per month. And for 8 years, it just dwindled down until it finally said zero, is what Barry Obama did. He's the one responsible for collapsing this economy. He's the one responsible for taking our food stamps away. He's the one responsible for taking all that money from you and me, natural-born citizens, and giving it to the Brotherhood of Islam and bringing his worm friends over here. Snake friends. I don't like snakes. Yeah, Bush didn't do any better either. But Barry sealed the coffin on that deal. So I lost my whole trust. I lost all of my money. And I used that money for 8 years to live off of because disability wouldn't approve my benefits in 1.5 to 2 years like they do everybody else, including illegal aliens. Oh, they'll give you benefits in 1.5 to 2 years. Yes, they will, being an illegal alien. But Holly Baglio had to fight the state of New Jersey 8 years to get to be approved. Why? Well, at the time I didn't know it, but I know the why now. Thank you, Randy Kramer. Because I'm a super soldier. Because I'm a super soldier, I lived off of my inheritance until I got my disability benefits. So I was paying doctors and bills out of my inheritance. I would have had enough money to continue to pay my own bills, but Barry collapsed the economy. So he took all that principal away. I thought I made better decisions with the second inheritance than I did with the first inheritance. I can't sit here and say that I blew the second inheritance. I didn't. I had a trust officer. We paid bills. I remember the first couple of months, the interest on my money, interest alone. The interest alone was $8,000 a month. Could you imagine having a bank account where you receive at least $8,000 a month in interest alone? How much do you think you need a month? And be generous. How much do you think you need a month to survive, pay all your bills, and have enough in your pocket, and still even toss out a 20, 50, or 100 here or there to a couple of people? You need $4,000 a month, right? Well, I'm assuming that it's just you, okay? Or just you and your spouse. No kids. Leave the kids out. It's just you and or a spouse. You guys would probably need the most $4,000 a month, right? And that's cushy. You could live on $4,000 a month, nice, and still tithe to your friends and help them out, right? Right. I was bringing in $8,000 a month on interest alone, and Barry Obama crashed that. When it was set up that when I turned 50, I would have gotten the trust in its entirety. But even if I didn't touch the trust and left it alone for all this time, there wouldn't have been anything in it because of what Barry did to the economy. And all the stocks crashing. You remember the car industry? Right? You remember that when the banks crashed, they were feeding money into it. And then you remember when the car industry was having trouble? Yeah, that's pretty much when I lost my trust in about there. Worrying about these car manufacturers. But don't worry about the little guy like you and me, right? No, but I also had really good jobs myself. So I always had hot cars. I always had money in my pocket. My friends always came to me, Holly, can I have $20 so I can take my girlfriend out? Sure. Why don't you go get a job, you loser? Don't worry, because in about 20 years, you're going to let me date you, and I'm going to mooch off you. Even more. See you in 20 years, Hall. Pretty much how it happened. What is $4,000 in crypto? I don't know. Move out of America. You should come to New Zealand if you can. Hi, Proof Osa, Yeshua blessings to you and New Zealand. I would love to. I'm scared that I would be detained in Australia permanently or just sent back. And I say that because one of the teams I was on in the DUMS, Deep Underground Military Bases, whenever that high-ranking commanding officer ever travels to Australia, they detain him, and they don't let him in. And I was on his team, so I should expect to be given the same treatment. You know what I'm going to do the month of March is I am going to write to the government and take ownership back of the entity Holly Baglio. Any DUMS in New Zealand? I think there is entrances in New Zealand to the underground world, in which case you will bump into DUMS. Don't take my word for that. Research it. There's a girl in New Zealand, Brooke Federline, and she speaks to it. But as far as I know, honestly, what I know is through Max Spears. What Max said is what I'll go by. He said that there's entrances from, I think it's New Zealand down to Antarctica. So there's places in New Zealand where you can enter and still access different parts of the world. Be very careful because they can still traffic you in the dump. So even if they don't have a dump per se in New Zealand, they still can come up to the surface, grab you, and then take you down into one of these entrances that goes down into the center of the earth and takes you to other areas like down in Antarctica. I'm not trying to challenge you or anything. I'm not trying to be rude. But yeah, be careful, because even if there's not a dump per se, there's still tunnels. This world is all connected. And I do think there is dumps there. But I listened to Max Spears because I was trafficked with him. He's deceased, though. That will come to America's aid in the next 2 years. You've got a beautiful country, Proof. Absolutely beautiful country. I would love to go to New Zealand. Probably if I went there, I'd stay and not come back. That's the other thing. I'd have to bring my dog with me, because if I travel and I decide to stay, she'll already be with me and I won't have to come back. I know that sounds weird, but I went to a conference back in 2020 and I said, I don't think that it's going to happen, but God forbid that moment comes where we've got to run and God says, don't go back to even go back in the house to get anything, just run. Well, if I got Keeper and Saver with me and I'm at this conference, then I don't have to go back to Jersey to get them to run. And that's exactly what I would do, is go back to Jersey to get my cat and dog. So rather than going back and doing something that God specifically told us not to do in the Bible, just let me bring Seva and Keeper with me. It's better if you let me bring my cat and dog with me, because they're already with me. There's no reason to go back. And no, guys, I wouldn't even go back for my own mother. I wouldn't. So, like when I go to do anything or travel, that little girl will always be with me. That way, if shite hits the fan and Abba's going, bounce west right now, Holly, I'm taking off. I don't have to look back. I don't have to worry, and it's done. Vinnie Eastwood is in New Zealand. Vinnie Eastwood, who? That name is familiar. I only found out about dumps today. I knew about the trafficking and what they do to kids. My friend told me told Mr. about that drug that starts with A. Okay, adrenochrome. And is Tim from Underground Railroad legit? Wait, do you mean Tim Holmseth? If you mean Tim Holmseth, I do not support him. I had a nightmare about him. I should have known it was that rotten mutt. You guys didn't know. I had a dream about, Allie Carter? I love that girl. Her mom, Shelley. Yeah, I had dreams about them. And this was the messed up thing. I said, there's a group of 3 guys coming after you. And I think there's 2 guys that I see. 2 or 3 guys that I see, but there's a couple more. There's a girl involved too. But I said, you got somebody coming after you. And the thing is the second guy, they turned around to me in the nightmare and they took off their mask. I saw their face, and then they put the mask back on and said that they were going to get somebody. And I see these 3 guys kind of jump over a barricade, and then a girl and another guy following behind them, and they take off going after someone else. Well, when I woke up, I wasn't sure who this other survivor was in my dream. And I'm like, Abba, show me. Who is this person I'm dreaming of? Who are these men going after? That one man opened up his mask. I saw his face, and in the dream, I recognized him, Abba. I didn't recognize the other people, but I recognized that one man. Who am I dreaming about? Sure enough, I'm on Facebook. I'm reading posts, and I get the tapping of the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit goes, this is what you're looking for. And there's a post. There's a post by Shelly and Allie. And I'm like, that's the dream, right? So I reach out to Shelly. I'm like, listen, I had a dream. There's somebody in the group that's harassing Allie that I'm going to recognize. But right now, for the life of me, I cannot recognize his face. But in the dream, I know who he is. And he's here in reality, but I can't place him. I don't know. It turned out to be Timothy Holmseth. He's harassing her. In addition to Stu Peters, the way they treated that poor girl, they ought to be ashamed and embarrassed of themselves. Disgusting. So if you're talking about that Holmseth, and by the way, the Marines aren't his. And no dumbs are being imploded. No kids are being saved. If anything, they're building more dumbs so the Bilderberg families have a bigger living room when they run from the surface of the earth down underneath the rocks and say, fall on us because God's coming. And we're the evil ones. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. I only found out about the dumbs. I'm sorry. You must be in shock if you just found out. Underground Railroad, I can't remember his name. And yes, adrenochrome does actually exist. It is true. I was trafficked for 37 years of my life in these deep underground military bases. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary free and my 7-year anniversary with Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, turning my life around. It's very true. It's very true. When I was there, I was brought in, one memory in particular, I was brought into what looked like a warehouse, and there were cages stacked up to the ceiling, so like 3 in a row, and they just lined the room. So like if you go into a Walmart and you see the aisles, replace the aisles with cages stacked on top of each other. Throw 5 to 10 kids in each cage, depending what size they are. And in this warehouse, all these kids were in the cage, and then they just, the whole place was wired. They electrocuted all of us kids. They no sooner stopped the electrocution to flip the switch around again. I guess that's called riding the lightning. Oh, we rode that lightning. We rode that lightning until over 95% of all the kids were dead. Project IBS. 42 kids are in Project IBS. You were lucky to see 3 of those kids walk out alive from Project IBIS. Project IBIS is brutal. But just to give you an idea of the statistics of what percentage of kids survive, they don't. The adrenochrome is very true. I guess that's called the fountain of youth because it makes you younger. Very euphoric. When I was trafficked, they forced us kids to be a part of these satanic rituals, to chop up these babies, to eat them, to drink their blood. The Illuminati families, that's all they're about. They're really not human like you and I are. This might be hard for you to fathom, but it'll be easier for you to understand in the long run why they do what they do. And it's because they are not human. They are the sons of the Nephilim. These Illuminati families, they're shapeshifters. They drink the blood. They need the blood. Now look at Jack and the Beanstalk. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Right? Well, right there it's talking about adrenochrome. It's really honestly true. I want to give you all the information I can give you. Proofosa. OSA, good morning, MZPD. I love you, sweet. I have bad autism. I know I have alters who are autistic. You're a very smart person. Severe OCD, bad. I have ADD, and combined into one. A friend told me about adrenochrome in June. We were watching Monsters, Inc., and I've been obsessing over it ever since. I can't get it out of my head. I told my hypnotherapist, and she was even worried. Man, I hope none of my family ever has kids. How old are you, Proof? Ah, thanks, MZPD. You know why? Because I tried to look pretty yesterday, and I'm going to take care of myself and take a shower, brush my hair. But yeah, like when I slept on my hair, I kept trying to, like, if I moved, like push it down on the pillow, so that way if I woke up, it wouldn't be like, thank you. Navy blue is my color. Thank you. I like it. Yes, adrenochrome is real and children are being rescued by the millions. I'm sorry, Catherine. I don't believe that. No, they're not. If it was true that these kids from the dumps are being rescued, then they would have called Russ Dizdar in or someone of that caliber. He's not being called in because these kids are not being rescued from the dumps. You think you're going to grab a group of Marines, kick down bomb shelter doors in a dump that's controlled by aliens, not even humans, bust in, do-do-do-do-do-do, I'm going to grab some kids in a cage, we're out free and the kids are free. It's a bunch of super soldiers. These kids are already chipped, surgically enhanced, and programmed. You're not rescuing anything. The only rescue mission that was successful was done when I was a kid in Nelson, Canada. And MJ-12, Majestic 12, came and rescued us kids out of there. And half the kids were murdered on spot. So they wouldn't get rescued. The adults would kill the kids. I'm lucky. No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude to you, Catherine, and welcome to my chat room, but I feel passionately, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I take everything to Heavenly Abba, and I asked him, Heavenly Abba, you hear these people with these news reports? This was as recent as 2019. I said all these people saying how these kids are being rescued out of dumps. Is it true? He gave me one word back. Capital N, capital O. Everything Timothy Homseth is spewing is false. I am to expose lies, and that's a lie. If you want to disagree with me, you can. I don't want to argue and debate, and I certainly don't want to disrespect you, Catherine, or anyone else. But I'm going to tell you point blank, no. There's no kids being rescued from these dumps. The only way a kid gets out is when they let them out. You, me, Timothy Homseth, we're never getting in to save one of those kids. And what are you going to save once you get there? A super soldier? That super soldier child is going to fight you tooth and nail. They're going to look at you as the bad guy. Again, what are you rescuing? You think you're going to run in and it's going to look like a foster daycare center with kids in a crib and, an adult sitting in the corner in a rocking chair with another baby and just all the kids in a big room playing all happy, and you're going to rush in, save them, and bring them out? No, you're not. And that's not what's happening. And those reports are false and wrong and lies. It's all to make money. It's all to distract you from the real victims, the real survivors. Me and my friends have been calling this out for years. And Q didn't do us any help. Y'all were so intrigued about decoding his puzzles that none of you cared to help Huntress or me when we had our heads in the toilet, sick as dogs because we're remembering what they did to us in Pizzagate, or in their wealthy homes, or in their monasteries, or in their schools, or in their lodges, or in their hospitals. Nobody's coming to rescue us. You see somebody here rescuing me? Well, I don't count now because I'm 47. Allie doesn't count because she's in her 20s. We're only going to look at 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds. You ain't getting close to those kids. You are not getting anywhere near those kids. Are you kidding me? What, you think you got Jesus behind you and you're just so big you're going to march in? Tuh. You better go talk to Abba. He's going to tell you, all that stuff. Moloch has authority over it. Yes, there's aliens below. Yes, you're right. They Listen, Catherine, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but there are so many people out there that say that us kids are being rescued from the dumps, and no, we're not. No, we're not. It's lies. Project IBIS is still ongoing. Do you know what Project IBIS is? It's the one of the worst projects you can be in next to Mannequin. Majestic 12 came to rescue us. That is Hitler backbreeding to the alien race. Timothy Homestead thinks he's going to bust in with his Marines and he's such a big guy. No, he ain't. Him and his buddies are lining their wallets. And people like you and me, the real victims, we're suffering, we're pushed aside, and we're ignored. Oh, well, Holly's 47. She's not 5 or 10 or 15. Ignore her. Oh, yeah, don't listen to Holly. Listen to me because I've got more credentials and better friends and a fatter wallet. And, huh. You see what Timothy Homestead did to Allie? Rotten mutt. If he was really running into dumps, saving kids with his Marines, then why did he treat Allie Carter like shit? I'll tell you why. Because he's not of Yeshua. And he ain't rescuing anybody. He just wants ratings and money. None of these kids are being rescued from the dumps. These projects are still ongoing. The vast general public out there is being bamboozled by people like Timothy. These dumps are not collapsing. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be used for the elites to run down into them. If anything, they're building new ones. All these sonic booms we hear, could it be HARP? Or could it be they're building new ones? And they're not going to take you and me. Oh, Catherine, thank you. Oh, Catherine, thank you. You know what, Catherine? I was probably misreading things and getting a little triggered. I'm sorry, Catherine. Please forgive me. I have been fighting a lot of triggering. And if you feel like I hurt you, I apologize, Catherine. Not too long ago, I got into it with somebody about Timothy Homestead. Yeah, China Lake, all those kids, all those cages. Ballard, oh, Tim Ballard, I gotta check him out. Because when you said Tim, I'm like, Homestead? Good morning, Dawn. They say they're aliens. Proof doesn't mean they're Anunnaki. I think Anunnaki is a species of aliens. I don't really understand. I'm not the one to ask because I don't know. Huntress might know. What about the children were rescued? There were children under the White House that were rescued? Wait. I didn't hear anything about that. And are you sure they were rescued? Timothy Ballard. Okay, I'm going to look at... Oh, he is. They're Draco. See, Catherine, I don't know the difference. I really don't. And I don't mean to be stupid, but I can't get a grip on it. The White House has been closed since last February. That I agree with. There's no reason to even have a White House. Those truckers are rallying in D.C., putting their lives at risk to get rid of these mandates, and meanwhile, nobody's home. But Barry Obama already told us many years ago that nobody's going to be home. Nobody's going to answer our phone calls. Just look at the January 6ers still rotting in jail. I'm sorry, I got to calm down. This is why I can't turn on the news, because I'm like, you know that fish on Nemo, Finding Nemo, that just gets upset and goes and puffs up? Turn it into a bird sanctuary? Good. So where's our new capital? Is it under the Denver, Colorado airport? Is that where we're working out of now? I'm glad I'm not in Maryland. I lived like 30, 45 minutes from DC. I was like, you know, when I got down to DC, honestly, I took my shoes off, and I'm walking in the backyard, and I'm thinking, this place is going underwater. Like literal water, but that's not it. The ground's gonna shake. I see explosions. And I kept walking around the backyard, and I'm thinking to myself, this place is not safe. I can't stay here. Okay, now the ground that I stand on right now is going to have some turmoil, but Abba says that he's going to move me. And if not, I will accept whatever his will is for my life. But anyway, when I was in Maryland, when people ask me, they're like, what's going on? Huh? We've been hawking at you and studying you and hawking at you, and we want to know what you're doing. Not that it's any of your business, but yeah, Washington, D.C. is going underwater. You know that tidal wave, when it comes in to take out Jersey, it's taking you out. Oh no, Holly, we're 1,000 feet above sea level. We're fine here. And plus the way that we're set up is there's a big horseshoe. So the water will rush in, but it'll rush in, and then because it's a big horseshoe, it'll just rush right back out, and it'll go around us, Holly, because of the lay of the land, but we're not going underwater. Yeah, where I was in Jersey is higher than 1,000 feet, and that's still going underwater. You don't stand a chance here. I ain't living here for the rest of my life like you want me to, like you're trying to force me to and handle me to. And they sat there and argued with me. I'm like, you just asked me what I'm doing. I told you what I'm seeing, and now you just want to sit and argue. You know what? Keep your asses planted here. And remember not to buy a life preserver. And don't call me when I turn out to be right. I'm not flying my sailboat down here to pick you up. Like, how are you going to do that? Where I stand right now is going to be underwater. Our whole coastline is supposed to change. And I think it's going to change with an asteroid. I don't know. I can't wait to see how it plays out, but it's like, why bother asking me what I see? I'm trying to figure out what I see. Is it figurative? Is it physical? Like literal? Yeah. Maryland is done for. That is the one place I wouldn't live, is proof. Oh, God, no. Texas is where they're taking the new White House. Thank you, Kat. You're really smart, Catherine. Thanks for putting up with me, Catherine, and working through my turbulence. I'm sorry about that with me. This to people that you were in the dumps. Shh. Good question, Proof. I personally believe you, but yeah, you know what? Not to be a wise ass, but I used to tell people, I'm sorry I didn't think of bringing my cage with me when I escaped or when they released me. My proof, I guess the only way that I would be able to prove that is to go grab one of the other kids that I was trafficked with and say, they remember me, I remember them, this is my proof. My proof is that I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have my NSA records. I want them, but it would take a lot of time and a lot of money, and I can't get them. I'm sorry again, Catherine. Oh, man. Sometimes I really hate myself with that triggering. And yesterday I got triggered bad. And it's a big deal. Now, for the other person who's triggering me, they're like, oh, whatever, she's blah, blah, blah. And me, I'm like going out of my mind because it may be nothing to them, but it's huge to me. And I'm not like them. I'm my own individual. And what's good for them and what they think is good is not necessarily good for me. So I'm sorry, Catherine. I'm sorry to the rest of the people in my chat room. I don't think any of the kids are being rescued. And that really upsets me. Project IBIS is still ongoing. It's just under a different name. And I wouldn't lie to you about something like this. I certainly wouldn't lie to you about Yeshua HaMashiach. I second that. Yes, I am. Lucky, blessed, yes, I am. But thank you for being so kind and gentle and patient with me. I'm really grateful to you, Catherine, to all of you. Yeah, I gotta say, I will say this, the person that triggered me yesterday, they already pissed my altars off, so we're not gonna be friends going forward. And just too difficult to happen to them. Yeah, Majestic 12. I remember when they came too. Thought I had a piece of hair. I remember when they came to. I remember before they even came. I remember the one little boy, Commander. Well, before he was Commander, he was a little boy. I remember him talking to one of the security guards at Nelson, Canada, and the security guard looked over at me and he goes, "She's your friend." And the little boy looked back at me. And the little boy told me that there was going to be a rescue mission. Well, because the guard told him, and he told a couple of us to stay right by him. Stay right by him. So we did. A lot of kids were shot just so MJ-12 could not be able to rescue them. I think Joseph Mangley, we weren't making it out of IBIS alive. It was brutal. We weren't making it out alive. So, you know, they go through all the trouble to create us, break us down, but then they just keep pushing right through and they were just killing us. Nobody was making it out alive. MJ-12 comes along. They say it's a rescue mission, but they turned around and just put us back into the MK Ultra projects. But the ones we went back into, I don't think they were as torturous as what we were being put through in IBIS. Or it could have just been the sole fact that I'm going to speculate. Probably MJ-12 took one look at who we were and Project IBIS and thought, we want those kids. MJ-12 and my wording, Majestic 12 is the good faction. They're the good faction of people. And where we were in IBIS was with the bad faction. So even with the bad guys, there's a good part and there's a bad part. I can email you my book. My book's for free. I even got drawings I can email you too. It's free. Everything on my website was always free. It's that I don't have my website up anymore. I can't afford it. But if you email me at hollybaglio11@gmail.com, tell me, can I have your book? Can I have your pictures? I will email it to you. And again, it's free. It was up on my website for free. So I'm happy to give it to you. I'll email it to you. I do have to edit my book. There are still some mistakes in it. I haven't finished. but it's good. I have to put my voice back in it because the editing process took my voice out, so I got to go back and fix that issue. And I'll get it to you today. It's a quick, easy read. My one friend got through it in a day. I got through it in 12 hours. It's like a 5th or 6th grade reading level. It's pretty easy. It's just like the way I talk. But again, I got to edit it. So, but it got most of my stories in it. Oh, and if you don't want to read it and you just want to listen, if you go onto my YouTube channel, my actual YouTube channel, and you click on my playlists, I know I got a ton of them and it's a mess. I got to clean it up. If you go into my playlists, I have a list called Autobiography. And then you'll see, if you scroll through all of my folders, you'll see another one that probably says Super Soldier, MK Ultra. Click on that. Go through my playlist because I have part of my autobiography read already online. I just have to read the last 20 pages of it. But again, I want to edit it first and then go back through and... Here, where's my channel? I'll tell you what the title is. I wonder if I can drop it in. THC. You're going to see the songs I use as singing telegrams. No, Holly's autobiography. Where are the rest of them? That's all I have up. Where's my MK Ultra and Super Soldier one? Go back. Oh, damn it. Well, that's not right. Okay, so if you go to my playlist tab, I'm missing a whole section of videos. I'm missing a few folders of videos. What the hell happened? All right, anyway, if you go to my YouTube channel, under the playlist tab, you'll see a folder that says Holly's autobiography. Click on that, and you can listen to my autobiography. Here we go. Copy. All right, I got 2 playlists for you guys that you can scroll through if you want. So I'll give you the book, I'll give you my videos. I really need to do these over again because they're just rough drafts. You know, it's not really professional quality. Here's one playlist I have about Domes and Super Soldier stuff. Then here is the second playlist. This is my audio autobiography if you want to listen to it. Otherwise, just shoot me an email and I'll respond to you with my autobiography. And the only reason why I do it that way, if I can be honest, YouTube removed our stuff. You can put the link in the comments for me, please. Okay. Catherine, if you can't find the link, it's always go to my YouTube channel on the playlist and scroll through my playlists. But there's the 2 playlists. The bottom link is for specifically my autobiography. The top one, just random videos about Pizzagate and stuff like that. What time is it? 8:30? I got time. I don't know what... I don't have to cook for dinner tonight. Or lunch. I got ravioli. If I don't eat, I got to throw it out today. I still got a little bit of noodles and chicken, and I got tacos. Sweet. I don't have to cook. I don't have to cook. Oh, wait. My neighbor yesterday calls me up. She's like, Holly, I heard you screaming. Are you okay? What were you doing outside, Holly? I was like, sweetheart, I was doing my victory dance because I got my house back. However victory dances go, I got my home back. The squatter's gone. The squatter's gone. Who harassed me and doxed me. And she started laughing too. She's like, that's right, Holly. We got our home back. There's a very bad squatter situation here. Very bad, but it's over with. I got my home back. So, don't believe me about this stuff. Maybe if I show them the books, they'll change their mind. Prufosa, don't push them too hard, because then they'll turn it around on you and be like, well, what's wrong with you that you're so into this? Just be careful. Some people have cognitive dissonance. I know, Keep. I'm going to take you, honey. Some people don't want to know. Some people, it's so vulgar, so disturbing that they really cannot handle it. Like they really can't handle it. Just ask Abba. Me, Proof, honestly, I drop grenades, bunker bombs. I just drop it in their lap and, you know, I'm not like the slow drip type person. I'm like, give it all to them all at once. But some people need to take it slow and some people can't even fathom it at all. So, I wish you luck. I'll be praying for you in Yeshua's name. And I pray for your parents. Everybody here believes you, I'll tell you that much. Because here you have survivors. Here, you'll be here at this community, that's for sure. Glad you won't have to cook me either wings for soup or supper or lunch. Tenderloins or steak sandwich. Ooh, time it can keep you awake for months. Yeah, Hillary's frazzle drip. That, man. You're right about that, Catherine. Sorry, can you what you said? I clicked off. It's okay, Proof. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I was just saying, be careful with your parents. Me, I tend to drop bombs and grenades. Some people, when you're talking to them, you got to feed it slowly to them. And some people, they can't even fathom. It's too disturbing and gross for them to even fathom and wrap their head around it. So I hope that you have much success talking to them. But also maybe, if you don't mind me saying, try not to push too hard. You know your parents. So you know if you've gone too far or pushed, don't do that. Because then what they'll do is they'll turn around and be like, well, what's wrong with you that you're pushing so hard? And don't you have any other hobbies? Don't you have any other topics? The moon was all in it. I believe you. I agree with you. And I bet you they believe NASA's moonwalk, right? You got your work cut out for you. Heavenly Abba, I come before you and I lift up Proof and her parents to you. I pray for Proof's parents to have their eyes open and scales removed from their eyes and ears in Yeshua's name. Please give them a strong stomach. Please give them a soft heart. Please don't let them turn this around onto Proof. You know, so don't let them deny it. But Heavenly Abba, the other big thing is that will you please provide a second and third person to talk to Proof's parents too, because sometimes it takes a second or third person. It takes another party to talk to someone before that person catches on. And it sounds like Proof might need a little help. So I pray for Proof and Proof's parents in Yeshua's name, Selah. It's hollow. hollow. All right, guys, I better get going because I got a pretty brown-eyed girl here that has to go out. And I don't have data on my cell phone because they hit me this month and stole my data. But hopefully next month I can get unlimited data. And then when they try to steal it all, it won't work because it's unlimited. But I had fun hanging out with you guys. Thanks for helping me work through the triggering. But yeah, I guess that that false news and that Timothy Homeseth, man, they really upset me. If I ever met Timothy Homeseth, probably the only thing I could get out of my mouth would be, you rotten, foul, lying mutt. Move aside. Get out of my way. I don't know you. I don't see Yeshua shining through you. Move aside. I hope you do too. Amanda, I don't want to say something I'm not going to do, but you're my priority still. Today is next month. I can't go out to visit. I mean, I can go out to the store, but... Sarah! Oh, no. Heavenly Abba, I pray that you comfort Sarah, smooth out her troubled morning. Please take away any tension and uncomfortable, weird feelings and bad feelings that she's going through. Please don't let her feel pain. Please help her with her diet. Please calm her stomach and digestive system. Don't let her have any pain. Please, level out all her body levels so her physical body is functioning good. And again, please don't let her to feel any physical or emotional pain. We pray for Sarah, and I pray for the rest of my friends in Yeshua's name, Selah. Don't mean to offend you, but I don't actually believe in God. That's okay, Proof. You're not going to offend me, sweetheart. Thank you for being so kind in your wording. Proof, you're welcome here. I talk a lot about Yeshua, Jesus, but you're welcome here regardless. I believe our ancestors were the Anunnaki, but thanks for the prayers, though. Well, thank you, Proof. I didn't mean to insult you, Proof. So you can always say, Holly, I don't accept the prayer. Not to be rude, but I don't believe in your God. I'm not trying. Okay. Well, I got friends of all different backgrounds, so you are welcome here. Could have been another aliens or just anything. Well, regardless of anything, you're welcome here, so I'm glad to meet you. And I hope I didn't offend you by praying, but with me, you're probably going to hear a lot about Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I got him 7 years ago in my life, so I've been turning my life around since then and putting down everything I used to do in the past. So, but to each his own. I'm still going to pray for you, Proof. Tina, how are you? Yeshua blessings. Okay, cool. If he does exist, it will do me a favor. I pray for you, Proof, in Yeshua's name. And I'm praying for you too, Tina. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Catherine, again, I'm so sorry, but thanks for helping me work through it. Thank you for helping me work through it. Thank you for helping me work through it, Catherine. You're on your way to work? Oh, well, I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope your boss lets you out early. I hope your boss gives you a promotion. I hope your boss gives you a higher salary or wage, and he doubles up on your benefits in Yeshua's name. I hope you have a beautiful day, Tina. I pray for everybody on their way to work. I wish I had a full-time job like I used to. All right, guys. Yeah, you're probably going to hear from me later, Huntress. But I got to do my chores, so I got to get my prayers written, said. Well, they're kind of already written, but I got to... All right, I'm going to go. Thanks for chilling with me. Thanks for talking about today's gossip. I hope something really cool happens so that way tomorrow morning we can have better gossip than today. And again, to everybody for my video last night, when I got mouthy, I apologize because I think I alienated my sister in Christ and my friend, and I didn't mean to do that at all. Her name's Barbara. I didn't mean to upset my Barbara, and I'm going to have to apologize to her again. I'll do better. I'll do better. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. You'll be here till 3. Okay. Tomorrow. Oh, you and I got to talk anyway because the project we're working on. All right, we'll hook up. We'll hook up. All right, let me get going because I'm going to walk her, help the lady downstairs, and then get started on my to-do list and take a shower so I can stay looking pretty and smelling good. Say good morning, guys. Shh. Don't start barking. Say good morning. I said don't start barking. Say good morning, guys. Okay, Holly's mine now. I need the Holly for me. I need thy Holly to walk me. Shh, 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 shh. I said stop. All right, I'm going to go take her for a hike. If you're around for a couple of minutes right now, Huntress, if you want to talk right now, give me a ring because I'm still going to need somebody on the phone with me because of the gang stalkers. Even though the squatter and that huge trash bag is gone, after what she did to me, her and her husband did to me, after what they did to me. You heard all about it. I don't need to repeat it. So the squatter's gone. The other 50% of the problem is still across the street. That's why this is up, because otherwise they got the goggles and they're spying into my windows looking at me. If you don't believe me, one day I'll invite you over for a cup of coffee. You'll see. They started with me when I had Rita and the girls here. And they got a very mean, nasty dog where they've been taking the muzzle off. Let me remind you about this one important thing. Last summer, when they invited me over their house and I went, they brought out this really big, dark dog. Forget what kind it is. Forget the name of it. The dog had a muzzle on. And while I'm sitting down at the table, the dog's going like this. All over my legs. Wouldn't leave me alone. I'm like, what is this dog doing? Wiping its eyes off? Oh no, Holly, it's biting you through its muzzle. Get it? The flock off me. You know your dog is biting me through its muzzle. I don't know what it's doing, and you let the dog stay doing it? That dog is so mean they have to keep it in a cage locked up all day. What's the point of keeping a dog that acts rabid all day in a cage around 2 little kids? Anyway, I was like, get the dog off of me. Oh, yeah, you know, she's right. We should put the dog back away in the cage. Well, now what they do is they push the buck. They see me come, so they run out to the edge of their property line with that same dog that doesn't have a muzzle. Now the dude himself, little pipsqueak, you see him digging his heels into the ground, holding with both hands onto the leash as this dog is row, 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 at me and Keeper without a muzzle on. And he's dug in, pulling the dog back. Now listen, Keeper doesn't need a muzzle. She's never bitten anybody in her life. And even when she gets jumping up and down, I don't have to dig my heels in. Now I know I'm a small girl, but I walk my dog, not the other way around. And you know what I don't like either? Is these jerks. Oh, who's walking who? Shut the flock up. Who's walking who? I oughta. Well, I'll tell you what, you ain't walking anywhere with me on your arm, buddy. Chauvinistic pig. It's not even funny. Who's walking who? Who's walking who? See, I like that right there. I like that. You get these guys, they think they're just so big. Oh, Holly, you think you're going to kick my ass as a super soldier? I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you, Holly. You can't hit me. You don't want Joseph Mangley or one of those other programmers like Jeffrey Epstein to come along and trigger me, because you will be eating your words. And no wonder why they made me a super soldier. Because all those people out there, especially those guys, they're not expecting someone my size to come along. They're not expecting someone like me. I know. And when I was an active super soldier, it worked every time. It worked every time. And that's why my commander was always so great at getting his target. That's why my commander was always so great at, what do you say, accomplishing the mission. Because everybody underestimated who he had on his team, namely me. So I might have a big dog, but that's only because my big dog is going to protect me from big things that underestimate my size. So I might be small, little, petite, and cute, but that don't mean I'm weak. Oh, Holly, I'm not scared of you. You ain't gonna, I'm a big man, Holly. Yeah, okay, whatever. You're just like everybody else with an ego. There's a big crack around here somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna exploit it and use it against you, is what the mind of an active super soldier would say. But I'm not active anymore. It's always the small, skinny ones, right? And when this small, skinny one gets quiet, time to worry. When I'm quiet, time to worry. So, but I'm talking right now. All right, guys, I do have to go. I want to take care of my brown-eyed girl. Go downstairs, and then I want to do my chores. And really, I want to get back to doing my chores so I can spend time with you guys. You know, calling you up, talking to you guys for 8 hours in private instead of making like 8, 9 long-hour Holly television marathons. But I'm just so good at it. I talk so much. All right, guys, I'll see you later. This is entertainment for everyone. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, who would be expecting me? Same with Huntress. She's petite and small. We have the same features. All my friends. All right. I'm going to see you guys later. I love you, Greta, Pito. Sorry, Huntress, Roxy, Skylar, and Alex, and Jeremy. Sarah, feel better, honey. Roxy, Greta, Sarah. Who am I forgetting? Catherine, Tina, Prue, Amanda, Duh, for realist, Catherine. Thanks again, Catherine. Thanks for helping me navigate, because on the inside, Catherine, I felt like a ruckus happening, and I couldn't. I was trying to grab a hold, and I was actually kind of successful. But again, thank you guys for everything. Tellies! Can't forget my Tellies. Who else is here? I love you guys. Garrett's Fishing, MZPD, ECWN, James Sarsma, and I'll find out what $4,000 in cryptocurrency is. Thank you, James. All right, if I'm missing, Waken, Sprite, Faith, and End Times. It's great to see you guys. Tyler, everybody, if I missed your name, please forgive me. All right. Yes, you will see me later. But I'm working very diligently to keep the core Holly here. And have a good day to you too, sweetheart. My love to Zeus. and to you as well. And I will see you guys later. If I do come back, I want to read Bible passages. I need to get my head in the good book, and while I do that, I'm going to bring you guys with me. I tried to do that last night, but anyway, I'm going to try again tonight. So I'll see you guys later, okay? All right, now I'm going to go be productive. Where's my cape? Call me Super Holly. Da-da-da! On my way. No, I'm kidding.